Hello, welcome. This is 91.7 The Edge, Whitewater, WSUW, and you're listening to the Watchmen Radio Hour. Welcome back. I am Drake.
I'm Riley. Glad to have you back here with some more Watchmen Radio Hour, talking about some movies. And Drake, let's start off. What was it that we saw this weekend?
Yeah, so we went and saw Rambo.
That was
Last Blood, isn't that what it's called?
Yep. You haven't even seen the other ones.
I saw the one before this.
Oh, you did? Okay, that's
right. The
right.
modern one.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
But I have not seen the originals, no.
You mean the one where he's in, Southeast Asia?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I didn't think it was horrible. It wasn't the worst movie I've
hold
ever
on
seen,
a second
but
there.
It definitely wasn't good.
It was awful.
I didn't think it was horrible.
The action wasn't good. They tried so hard to make it a meaningful story while making it it felt cringy and it felt very dull, very fake. And I just kept laughing at the fact, why is he on a farm? Why is he on a farm? I kept expecting the one song that they played in the trailer, Old Town Road, to pop in, and thankfully it never did, because that would have just made me dislike it even more.
Yeah, but when I think of the worst movies I've ever seen, that one's not going to come to mind.
Normally I don't complain about a movie having, being gruesome or a movie being violent. If a movie's, violent and it pushes the story forward, or it matches some sort of realistic feel to, some sort of, combat or something, you know what I mean? I feel like that's the best. Sometimes you can just watch an action movie just for the heck of it, you know what I mean? But, this movie just goes overboard. It really does. It goes over the top with a lot of its action. It's ridiculously brutal for... Honestly, I think just for the sheer shock, they were doing it for the meme.
The one before this
making it way too shocking. Yeah, but this was worse. Come on, this is more digging and
it was
cutting out someone's heart. And I'm
what?
What?
Ridiculous, but it was what it was.
It was very awful.
It wasn't. Like I said, it wasn't.
I actually liked the other one, the one where he's somewhere in Southeast Asia. I thought it was fairly decent. Obviously, the story wasn't that interesting, but the action and just the way it played out was interesting. And I don't know, I just thought this is brutal, man.
Yeah, like I said, I'm not gonna look at it as one of the worst movies I've ever seen, but not worth your time. Unless you're the biggest Rambo fan, in the history of the world.
I don't even know if there even exist out there. Well, see, now you haven't seen First Blood, which is the only one that's good. It's just a movie. The other ones are just these obnoxious sequels of each other, where they're just there for the sake of the action. Because the first movie's about, like I said, I was telling you this before, it's just about a guy who has PTSD and stuff, and you can tell that he's damaged from the Vietnam War. And when he gets sort of harassed by these cops, and I don't know, it pushes him over the edge. But it's more about a story about a soldier and his mind. And then the other movies are just oh yeah, so I know you have PTSD, and then his commander's you want to come back and you want to kill more people? Essentially, is what the other sequels are, and they're just awful. They're so bad. Yep.
All right, enough about Rambo. It doesn't deserve.
No, it doesn't deserve much of a conversation. It already took up a good chunk of our time here.
So Riley and I have we've watched a surplus, you could say, of horror movies.
Yeah, a lot.
A majority of them bad, a few okay, and there's Diamond in the Rough is a really good one.
Isn't that a Disney song? It's an Aladdin. It's the one.
What was that?
I don't know. I just thought of it. I was isn't that a Disney song?
But we on our YouTube channel we have this video where we kind of discuss what we think makes a good horror movie, and so we thought we could kind of discuss that a little bit today and give our thoughts, and also some of our picks of our favorites personally and why.
I think the best thing we should do first is let's list some of our, just 5 or 6 of our favorites, make a few comments, but then we'll sort of go into, because Drake and I, honestly, since we were towards the end of the school, you and I have been watching horror movies for forever, and we're constantly looking for those little gems out there, but there's not a lot of them.
Yeah, I have a pretty long list right here of ones that I
pretty
could just mention.
Yeah.
Ones that I don't really feel the need to.
There's some that I don't feel like we even need to mention. Just
ones that I want to mention because I think they're quality, but I don't need to talk about really.
Mm-hmm.
Blackcoat's Daughter.
Which one's that again?
You fell asleep during it. But it's the one on the school campus where they're kind of like snowed in.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. And then she ends up staying with like an older student or something, right? But she didn't her parents died or something.
No, they just couldn't get her.
Oh, they couldn't get her. Okay.
Yeah.
No, but I remember, isn't she like worried, and then we discover that they die or something?
I can't remember.
I
can't remember.
I don't even remember them.
Remember
I thought you liked this movie.
I do, but I don't remember every single plot point ever.
Yeah, sure.
Sinister is another one. The Shining, Paranormal Activity.
Yep.
These are all ones. Insidious, the Insidious franchise.
Well, you should clarify, just like...
Well, the
two
first one,
really good ones.
The first one is good.
Yeah.
Second one is also good.
Mm-hmm.
Third one is okay. And then the fourth one we don't even consider.
God, that was so awful. Bad. You know, I this is the funniest thing ever, but when you kill a character in your first movie, you don't expect them to somehow be dragged out in your 3 sequels. Like, what? What's the old lady's name in the movie? Not Lorraine, because I'm thinking of The Conjuring.
I can't remember.
Whatever. I don't know. She dies in the first movie, and then somehow they just drag her out across, and we learn her whole family history. Like, I'm sorry, I don't care nearly enough about this character to learn her family history.
Yeah, and other than that, the movie's just really bad.
Well, yeah, the third one's just a brutal mess. Remember the main like demon or whatever? It wasn't even scary, and they showed it so much that it was just like a nuisance.
Yeah.
And it just served no purpose.
Yeah.
But
so those were the ones I just wanted to quickly mention.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you have any of those, but then I have some ones I could talk about further.
Well, so like I have Sinister, obviously, relative to the second movie. You know, it's not talked about a whole lot. I just like its overall tone for that movie. It has that, I don't know, what's the atmosphere. That's what I'm trying to talk about. It has a really cool atmosphere, and I love the demon. Sinister. Sinister, yeah. And Ethan Hawke is really good in that too. And then there's by Paranormal Activity, Insidious. You know, I think you should get into zombie movies more. I'm not a huge fan myself, but
I've watched a good amount of. What are you going to mention?
Have you seen 28 Days Later?
Yeah.
Yeah, you've seen that one?
Yeah, of course I have.
Did you see 28 Weeks Later? That one's really good too. It's like it literally takes place
like in the train terminal.
There's some pieces of it
in there
in the train.
The
terminal.
lights go out. I don't know. I've seen not Train to Busan.
No. You should watch. 28 Days Later is great. That's the one with Cillian Murphy. That movie had like a super low budget, and what they were able to do is like they were able to block off large streets of London somehow, and they only had like such a short period of time, but it was just crazy for a movie that had like the budget that it did to manage to or like get the ability, to block off large streets of London for them to film like that.
Yeah.
They're pretty lucky. I also have Gerald's Game on here.
Yeah, I have that on my list as well.
That's a good movie. That one should be talked about so much more. I noticed one thing with that movie is that users don't really like the movie very much, but critics do. But it really is
to me. I don't.
It is weird.
I don't know why.
It's just it's unique, isn't it? Based on another.
It's based on Stephen King.
God, he writes so many things.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous. He spits them out like a conveyor belt.
Oh, another one I wanted to mention. I really like The Woman in Black.
Oh yeah, that's on my list too. It's towards the bottom, but yeah, of my top 20. So that's great, anyways.
I mean, Goodnight Mommy. We don't have to talk about that because we talked about that last week.
Oh yeah,
but that's up there.
I also have It Follows. That's great. That just shows you that sometimes when you keep a horror movie simple, that's honestly for the better. And the movie's concept is insanely simple, right? Yeah. But it's just so compelling, and it's super creepy, and it's great, and it's that's I really really like that movie. And isn't that guy directing something else?
Yeah, he directed
that I'm not thinking of.
The one I told you to watch.
Oh, Under Silver Lake.
Yeah.
That's right. Okay. And obviously a few other ones that I put on here is that I have to put the first Alien, the original Alien.
Yeah.
It's just so. You've seen all the Aliens, haven't you?
I mean, I haven't seen the third one. I've seen Alien, Aliens.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the new ones.
Obviously Hereditary, but we can talk about that.
Yeah.
More in depth. At some point here, and then also I really like The Descent. I know you like that too.
Yeah, that's a great movie.
That's really good. That's about the group of what are they? The group of
they're doing
British women from
bachelor party.
Yeah,
right?
No, bachelorette party.
Bachelorette.
Yeah, and they're like they want to go cave diving in the U.S. somewhere.
Spelunking.
No,
that's what it's called.
They weren't doing spelunky. They were not cave diving. They were cave exploring. They weren't diving into those.
Spelunking?
That's not spelunky.
They went way down. Yes, it is.
That's spelunky's jumping with parachutes. Look it up.
I don't think that's true.
Yeah, spelunking is jumping through massive open caverns with parachutes.
You're wrong.
Am I?
Spelunking, the exploration of caves, especially as a hobby. Sorry.
What?
Correct.
Does it say anything more specific?
That video game Spelunker with the little guy.
Sorry, I didn't play lame video games like you when you were a child.
I haven't played it either. Riley. I just know what the word means.
Well, I disagree still, even though you proved me wrong.
Sorry.
They descend into a cave, but to learn that it's never really been properly discovered or explored, and they find some mutated people who have been down there for a long time who are blind but are willing to eat your flesh. But it's not like a slasher monster movie. It's not really about that. It's more about somebody's exploration of the unknown and the fear of the dark, and it definitely plays on that. And it gets that feeling of claustrophobia, remember when they're stuck, when they get stuck in some of those situations.
All right.
You got anything else to talk about?
Yes.
Mention?
I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. One to mention.
What?
1, Lake Mungo on Amazon Prime. Watch it if you have the time. I just rewatched it.
I barely remember that movie. That's not a good thing.
I'm serious. Rewatch it.
What's it on again?
It's on Prime. Rewatch it, and you will be glad you did.
Okay.
There's also a movie similar called The Blackwell Ghost that we watched.
Blackwell Ghost.
That's not horrible. It's
I forget about a lot of these because they're not memorable.
I know you do. It's okay.
What's Blackwell? Remind me.
Blackwell Ghost is the dude. He's like a spiritual investigator or whatever, and that guy reaches out to him and says that they can stay in his house while he goes on vacation for like 3 weeks, and there's that well in the basement.
It's coming to my mind
he goes
here, but
with his girlfriend.
Oh, and they do stay there, right?
They stay in the house, yeah, for like 3 weeks.
Blackwell Ghost. Is that what the movie's called? Oh yeah, and you said the well.
That's pretty good.
And it's sort of like a small.
It's like a documentary style.
I guess I'd never reviewed it, so I know I've seen it. So give me a second.
While you're doing that, another good one on Prime, Hell House LLC. Remember that one? Where the group of friends they start up.
The haunted house, right? Yeah. Was it originally a haunted house? I think it was, right?
I think.
But like something
like a hotel, and then they restore it.
Oh no! Remember there was the murder. There was like a murder or something there.
And this is.
Wait, no.
This is one of those movies that's like
I got it mixed up.
Mostly jump scares, and for the most part, I don't like those movies very much. But it's good.
But it was creepy. It helped. What's the word I'm looking for? It has that bass, kind of vibrating ambience.
Drone. They call it a drone underneath.
What?
One solid tone. It's droning.
I call it ambient.
No.
Ambient bass. Ambient sound. But no, that movie is... I was very surprised by that, too. And there's the other...
To drone is to make a low, continuous noise.
God, you're really proud of yourself tonight, aren't you?
I'm off tonight.
Oh, my God.
Sorry.
The, what was the other thing that we watched that's... Witch in the Window.
I have that on here, yeah.
Yeah.
That was on Prime, too.
That was surprising for...
It's like mostly kind of a drama.
Yeah.
With some horror elements, but it's really good. Surprisingly
It's more about
good.
a relationship between the father and his son.
Really low budget. It's only like a little over an hour.
And it's surprisingly compelling. It's well written and performed by just these two guys, the son and father. Very, very surprised by that movie. I think when we sometimes you can tell with horror movies from some of their titles. You know what I mean? Or like the basic.
Well, don't judge a book by its cover, right?
Sometimes you can.
In like 4th grade.
God, you're the worst.
Sorry. I know what you mean. No. I have 5
Jesus,
more.
just go quickly. So many.
Calm down. We got plenty of time. This is good discussion.
God, there's so many.
Climax, another movie on Amazon, I think, or HBO. It's by Gaspar Noé.
Gaspar Noé? Gaspar, no way, dude. What's this called again?
Climax.
Climax.
It's French.
How do I forget about all these things? Oh, you watched it. I didn't watch it because it didn't have any interest. I remember now.
It was very well made, but I had a horrible time watching it. I'm serious.
Then why is it in this stupid list?
Because it's worth a mention. Because it's very well made. What I mean by I had a horrible time watching it.
I didn't enjoy myself. I didn't like watching it, and I'm going to put it on this list.
I didn't enjoy myself.
You don't make any sense.
Let me finish.
Let's hear it.
Because he did exactly what he wanted to do, which was to just make you feel like. I can see by your body language. You're not even listening to me. You haven't even seen this, so I don't even know why you're...
You wanted to start it one time, and I'm like, I don't have the energy to watch this.
We watched like 2 minutes, and you didn't want to watch it because there's subtitles.
Okay, you listen here. Okay,
That's what happened.
You did it to bug me. You know, I don't have any... Of course I want to watch foreign movies. I'm not lazy like everybody else who doesn't want to read and doesn't want to watch movies with subtitles. Like, I love watching a movie. If it's good, if it's worth my time, let's watch it.
The entire purpose of the movie was to be kind of like to just kind of like shock your senses and just make you like not only uncomfortable but just a feeling of like you like disorient you. And that's why what I mean by like I didn't enjoy watching it. It was still a good movie, but like the filmmaking tactics and the way he filmed and just the way it's performed, it's very well done.
Wow, what a rousing seal of approval from you.
Watch it and you'll know exactly what I mean. So please stop giving me sass for a movie that you haven't even seen, buddy.
Oh, man. What else you got?
All right.
Oh, gosh.
The Witch.
Yeah.
Great atmospheric horror movie.
Oh, my God. That's perfect.
I like atmosphere.
The play of, what's the word I'm looking for? Folklore. Just like how you see like their own belief in something. The religious belief is so strong that it's driving them to their own sense of fear. I'm just saying, like, their own paranoia comes from their own belief. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And, like, you could tell that, like, even not understanding something, they just simply kind of descend into chaos, thinking that everything's against them. I don't know. It's so good.
It's almost like that's what happened during the Salem witch trials.
Okay.
Hence the name, The Witch.
Oh my God.
Another great French horror movie.
Yep, that's true.
A movie that you refuse to watch with me for whatever reason. I'm telling you it's good. It has our boy Willem Dafoe.
And you make it sound like I don't like horror movies. What are you talking about?
No, I'm just saying, you refuse to watch Antichrist with me. And I don't know why.
Oh, wait. So wait, you're switching from Raw to Antichrist?
Yeah.
I thought you were saying I don't want to watch Raw.
No, you watched Raw with me.
Yeah, I know. I don't want to watch
Antichrist.
I don't know.
I don't know why.
I don't know. Sometimes there's some of them that just don't interest you. I don't know.
And then the last on my list, The House That Jack Built, starring Matt Dillon.
Oh, yeah. That movie's pretty screwed up, though, if you think about it.
Well, yeah, because it's about a serial killer. So it's sinister.
And they're trying to make you not... What's the word I'm looking for?
Don't even say they're making you sympathize, because that is...
No, that's not what I'm
opposite.
saying. Oh, my God.
No, I don't know what you're trying to say.
I don't know. He gets put in those situations where you, like, laugh, and it's just weird. But it's good. It's great, though. You know what I'm talking about. You've seen the movie.
I think what do you mean, like, they
push you into those situations
where,
where
you feel nervous for the guy, even though he's like a horrible person?
Yeah, because he's the main character of the movie
I just
anyways.
think that means it's well made. I don't think it's a bad thing.
Well, sure. Feeling nervous about your main character anyways is how you're supposed to feel. You know what I mean? when you're watching something? Don't you want to, even though depending on the degree of a character's like true personality or what they're actually like, when you see a character on screen, you're going to have some sort of want to see that person not necessarily succeed, but continue on. You know what I mean?
Right. Even if they're a horrible person.
Yeah.
Like that he was.
Depending on how you're framing them and such. You know what I mean?
Right.
But yeah.
Just a reminder, you're listening to 91.7 The Edge. So now, unless there's more you want to talk about, we can get into what we think makes it.
Yeah, here I have my beautiful little layout here. Let's take a look. All right. So Drake and I have been talking about this before and how, honestly, there seems to be a lot of problems with a lot of like the box office horror movies, especially like the big ones, is that they're all structured the same way, essentially, where they're all focusing on the jump scares, you know what I mean, and that shock factor, and not even at all on the characters, really, which is not what you want to do. The most important thing in any story is the characters. If you screw up the characters, there's a very low chance that anybody should enjoy your movie. But for some reason, these movies still seem to make a crap load of money, with exception, to it's like the Conjuring movies, the second, which one is that I'm thinking of? The second Annabelle was actually pretty solid. I don't know. Anything else is just awful. A lot of it's bad.
Like Hollywood?
Yeah, like the big movies? Like the really big ones that they're releasing. They always market them the same way, and like it's sort of like right after the Conjuring and the Insidious movies are being released. You know what I mean? Like you had like this idea where they're trying to mask that tone and that type of where you have a central antagonist being like one demon or something. You know what I mean? Something like that, or where you have some sort of foe. And then you get all the jump scares, and somehow they conquer it by yelling at it or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Something dumb.
And I mean, because my main problem with a lot of these movies is that they're, like you were talking about, they're just jump scare fests.
Yeah.
And they're just they're cranked out.
Yep.
Like it's assembly line just to make like as much money as possible.
I'm just trying to think of some stuff that came out. Also, slasher movies have a terrible problem with spitting out sequels and nobody cares about.
Well,
and
I just
somehow
don't
people,
like slasher movies that much to begin
they're not
with
very
at all.
good.
But yeah, big box office smash horror movies, with a few exceptions, of course. Like their sole purpose is to make money, and I think that they're aimed at kids. Just because,
like teenagers.
When we were in middle school, when we were in high school, early high school, we liked just to go to these movies just because it was fun.
Yeah, but then like it sort of gets in that state of mind where you see something that's so shocking or something that's so different, where then people sort of get in their mind, this is so different to me what I'm seeing, therefore it's good. You know what I mean? People get in that state of mind. I think that's partially why people keep coming back, is because I've been scared. I like this feeling, and then they want to keep coming back to see a nothing movie. Is what they keep doing.
I don't think most of these movies aren't shocking.
Well, they're shockingly bad.
Yeah, when I think of shocking, I think of like disturbing.
Well, sure.
Most of these movies.
I'm just talking about the shock of a jump scare on its own. That's what I'm referring to.
Yeah, to me, it's kind of like. Big box office comedy movies, which I have a very hard time watching. It's kind of the same thing.
I feel like those two are very parallel. Those two genres, you know what I mean?
They're aimed at usually the same target audience.
Yep, and they have the same problem where you have not a lot of. I think partially what some of it is, Drake, is that they're probably just very difficult to write. Those two types of movies, are horror and comedy, are just I think difficult on their own to write. Like to make it clever or to make it interesting and unique, I feel like is where the real difficulty lies. But then, yeah, you're right. Then you have these movies that are steered towards a lot of like teenagers and stuff, but they're just of like the worst quality. It's the most basic thing. It's a conveyor belt of the same thing.
Yeah,
each of them, both those two genres have that problem.
Bad like Hollywood comedy movie, that's like the hardest for me to sit through.
Yeah.
The hardest genre is I will not go and see a comedy movie unless like I'm positive that
Well, if you remember, for a long time, you know, like in like the late 90s and stuff, and like the early 2000s, you had After American Pie. They just kept spitting out the same type of movie. Yeah. Oh, high school comedy. I got the
Campy
friend group
comedies.
Yeah, that type of stuff.
That was like the
and they're like, ooh,
thing.
I gotta get a girl before I go to the college, or they're in college, and then it's just an obnoxious movie about 3 friends that nobody cares about, and they go on a very insignificant journey with no clever writing and just them saying poop jokes. And a whole lot of nothing.
Yeah, those are.
Yeah, I do think I feel like comedies and horror definitely ride the line together in how they're marketed and also what they're trying to do, and how even with both those two genres, I feel like it's difficult to find those gems amongst them.
Oh yeah, it's equally as hard to find a really good comedy that it is. I mean, maybe a little easier because you can dramedies you can kind of count, but yeah, definitely. Yeah. So kind of similar to that, I think one of the main things that horror movies could massively improve in or get better at is the fact that they focus way too heavily on jump scares.
Yeah.
Like some of the horror movies that we mentioned, obviously, yes, there are jump scares because that's just something that happens in horror movies.
Yep.
But movies like the
weighting of a jump scare is part of the intensity.
Like the movies that we mentioned, like the bad Insidious movie or like the first Annabelle movie or blockbuster movies like this, they don't have any genuine scares. They go solely for jump scares.
The Ouija movie?
Yeah,
like that?
Just anything like that. They're solely...
that's one.
Well, movies like Hereditary or The Shining or The Witch.
Those are atmospheric for sure.
And also, they can implement scares without playing a loud noise and having someone pop out at you.
I think the best route to go with horror movies is to feel uncomfortable, but not to be necessarily grossed out. I'm just saying to have a strange visual look to some things, but then also have these situations where people feel very off edge and like just very unbalanced. I think that's part of it too. Like, you know, like in Hereditary, where they get thrown into such a deeply impactful emotional trauma that you can just tell that's just going to throw off people's state of mind and just make and build the creepy tension around the whole movie. You know what I mean? We have like a tragic event like that, or even just like I said, like things that just make you feel, that make your skin crawl without being disgusted.
A perfect example of that is Midsummer.
Sure.
What do you mean, sure? That's literally
Hereditary is a way better example.
No, I completely disagree.
What are we talking about again?
You were talking about atmosphere.
Yes.
I think the perfect movie for atmosphere would be Midsummer.
I wouldn't go to that.
Are you kidding? That's literally exactly what you just explained.
I know what you mean.
Of uneasiness and
that's
a feeling
true. That's
of...
what that does.
Like, that's like Midsummer is... Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought I didn't in the moment right after I got out of the theater, but I like Hereditary more.
Yeah.
Especially as a horror movie.
For sure.
But if we're solely talking about atmosphere and just overall how it makes the viewer feel, I think that Midsummer is more impactful.
It's that feeling of discomfort in that movie.
It's just like, I've never seen a movie, except for maybe Climax, I've never watched a movie or seen a movie that has made me feel like I was there more than Midsummer. Like, I felt so uncomfortable and so...
One movie that tried to do that so desperately was A Cure for Wellness. I felt like that one was trying so hard by visionary Gore Verbinski. As the trailers kept saying, it's by this visionary. Oh, I'm a visionary, if you remember.
You just like that movie a lot more than I do.
But that movie, it tries to do what Midsommar does, but just horribly, and it's just annoying.
Yeah. I mean, there were a lot of things in that movie that I thought they did correctly, but it was poorly executed.
Here's one thing I like. I like like when you're having an antagonistic figure, like just a creepy figure. God, I'm trying to think of some of the moments that really made me feel uncomfortable. Like remember in Insidious 2, the kid is talking to his brother, or he thinks it's his brother.
In the closet. On
the can and the string, and then he thinks he hears something. He's like, what? And then he's like listening, but then he pulls the can and sees that the string is going to the closet, and then a creepy woman bursts out of the closet, and she's like soaking wet, and she's like with her hair in front of her face, and she's like crying, and I was like, I don't like this. I was just like, I'm creeped out.
Moonlight Man.
Oh God, I was just gonna say that. You spoiled it for me. I was gonna say him. Yeah, that guy's great.
I can't remember the movie that we watched, like The Tunnel or something, where the hands on the bathroom.
The canal.
The canal.
Oh God, I love that scene. That scene's so good. Yeah. So the guy is sort of having like a mental breakdown.
Good,
no, the movie's not good. But no, this moment is really cool. So the movie's about this guy. It takes place somewhere in the UK. They live in like this kind of semi-rundown little town that's along this canal, and apparently bodies show up there all the time. So he's following his wife, who he believes is cheating on him, and he does see that, and he gets like super sick as he's following them, and he runs into some stingy bathroom, and with like graffiti everywhere, and it's just dirty, and I was like, God, please don't touch that toilet seat. And what did he do when he went to go throw up? He grabbed that thing. He firmly grabbed the toilet seat. And I wanted to throw up. I'm just kidding. But anyways. So yeah, he's throwing up, and then he's been having like this feeling of something following him whilst he was following, or something dark looming over him, almost controlling him in a way. And he's in the bathroom, he's in the stall, and while he's sitting there, he sees two shoes. He turns to see two shoes under the stall next to him, two dress shoes facing his direction in the next stall, and then you get like that slow... The bass feeling starts to build up, and
that's what we call drone in the industry.
Thank you, Drake. And then you see as the camera pans up, I'm like, I was like, I don't want to see what's gonna crawl over the top of that the bathroom stall wall. So as it pans up, we then see long fingers slowly curl its way over the top, and you're just like, oh God, what? And then you see like a hat start to pull over the top, and then I think it cuts away. But and then as he runs out of the bathroom, but God, that scene is so good. I really like that scene.
That reminds me, I use Reddit a lot, and in movie suggestions, someone like suggested. I'm trying to look for the post right now. Someone suggested. Let me try to find the post. You can talk about something, and then I'll come back to it.
I want to talk about some of like the predictable jump scares, because these movies get to a lot of these points where you just know something's coming. You know, where it's like, here, let me finish quickly what I'm saying, and then you go back into this. I remember we found a scene one time that was perfect. It was when I think it was for the first Purge movie, and the actress Lena Headey, her character, is opening a fridge and getting something out of it. But you know it's that shot where it's along the door, and you know the minute she closes it, oh, someone's going to be there, and you're just going to be like, oh, this is the stupidest jump scare I've ever seen. And that's exactly what happens.
Yeah, movies like that, they telegraph jump scares way too much. Like, if you're going to have a jump scare, at least make us jump.
God, remember that?
Just telegraph it. You can tell exactly what's going to happen.
Do you remember that one movie?
No.
That one movie. You remember that one movie, Drake? Remember that one? No. So it was the. Oh God, what was it? What was it about? Or not about. Crap. Hold on. The things in the wall, and the pact. Crap. That's what it's called. So Drake and I were watching this. I remember like a couple years ago.
Only part in a movie that has
I almost had like a heart attack.
Actually made me scream.
I wanted to die.
We got up and we
left. We left the room because it was so unexpected. We were like, "What's happening?"
The funny thing is, like, when you go back and rewatch the scene,
it wasn't nearly as
not scary. Like,
it was just that it has to be your only time watching it.
It has to be your first time viewing it. It has to be like you don't know what's going on. You have to be wrapped up in the movie.
Yep.
And
Well, so what? So the context of the scene is we
Don't
have.
tell them.
What?
So
I really want to. I really want to say though.
You don't need to. They don't need to know.
God.
Just watch the pack.
Watch the pack. I won't tell you when this occurs in the movie, but for some reason it scared the bejeebers out of Drake and I.
All right, I found the post I was talking about. Somebody in the horror subreddit asked for, and this is kind of like exactly what you were talking about.
Which thing? Okay, just
when you're talking about just like scary moments like that.
Predictable jump scares?
No. When we were talking about like the canal, that feeling of just
those
like
good scenes. Yeah.
Someone posted on horror, most disturbing horror moment without blood, gore, or violence. That's kind of like exactly what we were talking about. Like this person said, there's a dragged down moment in Gonjam Haunted Asylum, the movie that I recommended we watch eventually. I don't
like you're referencing a movie I haven't seen. Now I feel like I'm left out.
Well, I haven't seen it either.
You said you recommended
I'm saying that we should watch it, I said.
Oh, okay.
But they just talked about how it freaked them out and it was hard for them to keep the eyes on the TV just because it was very weird and disturbing.
Yeah.
So people like in the comments are talking about moments, like this person says in Hereditary, when there's a wide shot of the house and you can see people standing around the house.
Oh, yeah. Oh. Remember when they're in the house and you see the kid and he's in the house and then there's a guy in the doorway in the dark.
Yeah.
And he's smiling.
This person, the moment in Hereditary when Annie bangs her head on the attic door.
Oh, that was great.
That's a good one. Oh,
yeah, where she's hanging on the ceiling.
Someone mentions Lake Mungo, a scene from Lake Mungo. I won't bring it up because you got to rewatch it.
Okay.
But I'm just trying to find some other good ones.
Oh, good stuff.
People
I love
mention
these scenes.
Body Snatchers, Eden Lake.
Yeah. What else?
Sleepaway Camp, the ending.
Oh, God.
That's a good movie. I commented on this. I got 15 upvotes. I was the most upvoted comment, so people agree.
15.
I talked about the entirety of the movie climax, the ending of Lake Mungo, the entirety of Goodnight Mommy, the reveal in The Vanishing, the 1998 movie, and the part in Sleepaway Camp. And everyone agreed. Someone said the diner scene in Mulholland Drive, which I think should have been a movie. But
I agree. I'm not a fan. Vote to kick.
I think someone said the last 20 seconds of Enemy.
I mean, it was just weird, but it's a part of the message of the movie. I don't know if that's, I would say, unless you have oh, wait.
Nice.
I won't say anymore. You heard nothing. Hello. What else you got? Oh, wait. I got
this moment,
which
is, I think, is a good... I think that we should rewatch this movie.
Okay.
They mentioned the 10-second scene in Deborah Logan where she's playing the piano and just looking at the camera.
I don't know why you keep wanting to rewatch this movie.
Because I remember it was creep me out. Okay. I remember we didn't like the ending, but I remember we liked before that, and I really want to rewatch it.
A lot of horror movies struggle to end themselves.
And another one of those that I think...
Wait, can I guess say mine?
Just the last thing.
All right, what you got?
The entirety of... Twin Peaks, just as a whole, the atmosphere you'll see once you start. You'll see what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyways, continue.
All right. So the first time we see Moonlight Man in Gerald's game, I did not like it. I mean, I liked it, but I didn't like it. So it was when it was nighttime, right? And she's sitting there.
Well, it's kind of like dusk. Like there's some light coming in the window. Yeah,
there's some light. It's like it's just about to be nighttime. If like the sun's about to be completely set, you can still see a little bit. And then, oh God, you hear like a little sound, like a little bit of a creaking sound, and I'm like, I don't like this. And then all of a sudden we see, she's like, is anybody there? And then we see a dark, tall figure lean forward a little bit in the dark corner, and then lean back, and then we see its eyes, and I'm like, no, wait, we do see its eyes, right, the whole time? And then it leans forward. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't like that scene. I mean, I like it. Obviously, I love it, but...
There's I just had it in my head. Oh, yeah. We don't like this movie. But there's one part in the Babadook that gives me that feeling. I don't even know if you'll remember it.
Okay, try me. Let's see.
She's, like, sitting on the couch, like, watching the news.
Mm-hmm.
and the news, they're talking about how this lady killed her kid. And they're like the police, and then like the camera pans to the window, and then it zooms in on the mom's face just looking out the window and smiling. And it's like just really genuinely creepy. I'll pull it up after this and I'll show you on YouTube, but it's creepy. It's not
coming to my mind here.
Well, we hated that movie, so.
Well, it had the constant. God, he's so annoying. He's so loud, Drake. I just wanted to leave.
He whines constantly. I get it, but come on.
I'm trying to think of some other scenes that I really like that, because I love thinking of them.
For me, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
Okay.
I'm serious.
Okay, which part?
The child catcher.
Okay.
Just anytime he's on the screen. And then just the entirety of, like, when they're following the grandpa when he's in the, like, castle. It's just so, like, surreal and disturbing for a kid's movie.
I know what you mean.
It's something else.
All right, let's see. I'm trying to look at some other weird ones that we've seen. Oh, obviously, there's a show we really like, right? There's Haunting of Hill House, if you remember. That was something I was not expecting at all. A great drama. It's creepy at times, but it lacks from... I don't like the way the ghosts are designed. Right? Yeah. I think that was one thing that we had a problem with that Netflix show. Otherwise, it's great.
That's the problem I have with the director.
Yeah, like his other movies.
They look exactly the same in Oculus.
Yep.
They look exactly the same in...
They're very dull.
What's it called? The show that we... Hill House?
Yep.
And they look exactly the same in the new Stephen King sequel to Dr. Sleep.
You haven't seen the movie yet.
Shining. I know, but from the trailer, when they showed the things, they looked exactly the same as they did in Hill House.
Yeah, that was...
which is unfortunate to me, personally.
It's so good, though, but it's just those ghosts, man. Well, except for the one with the bowler hat, it was kind of okay.
But they all, like,
they still were
the
just
same kind of face. I don't know really how to
I know what you mean. It's like, it's just dull. There's no unique feel.
They're, like, the same.
Yes. It's just the design. You know, I know you don't remember this movie, but I swear you saw it with me. I think we left. I don't think we finished it. It was Crimson Peak.
No,
maybe you haven't.
Leave. I fell asleep. You saw it in theaters, and I fell asleep because it was so boring.
It's just not. It's really just awful. But the thing is that it's a Guillermo del Toro, but he does a great job with the ghosts in that movie. I did not. They were creepy. I got very uncomfortable when she's like walking down the hallway, and then the red floating woman. I don't know. I don't know if you can visualize what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about.
But I didn't like that. That was creepy. And then, what else? There's a lot of bad things we saw. Oh, man, sorry. God, so the most recent bad things we've seen, we saw... Let's take a look here. Yeah, that was disappointing. Before I Wake, I don't know why we even bothered. That was a waste of our time. What else? Pet Sematary. That was awful. Child's Play. Not a fan. What else we got?
Did you see that?
What?
I thought it was okay. Child's Play?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was
We thought
fine.
we talked about this already.
Maybe we did. I thought it was fine.
Yeah, it's
just it was very average.
Yeah.
It was very average.
I wasn't a fan. And, oh God, there's not really a whole lot here. No. I don't know what I'm looking for here. What's going on here?
I honestly no idea what you're looking for.
Hold on, I feel like I'm close to something. Terrified. What's Terrified?
Oh,
yeah, that one's all right. Wasn't the Spanish film?
Such a waste though. That reminded me of Terrifier. Remember the clown?
Oh yeah,
the clown.
That's a good first scene.
The clown is incredible looking. Like
it's
so
very creepy.
Scary.
And then the rest of the movie's awful. Yeah. You had
look up a picture of the clown from Terrifier.
From Terrifier.
And there's one scene when they're in the
first
pizzeria.
Scene. Yep.
It's not the first scene.
Okay, you're right, but it's in the very beginning. It's in the very beginning.
It's pretty close to the beginning. But just look up the clown from Terrifier and you'll see.
Yeah,
That's they wasted such a good character design.
Man, there's not a whole lot here, man. I'm trying to look at a bunch of different things. There's just a lot of bad stuff. Gross. Man, what else? Oh, remember the Cloverfield paradox?
Yeah, that was okay. You fell asleep.
What?
Yeah,
you thought that was okay?
It was
oh my God.
awful in the beginning. It was so bad in the beginning. God. But when I got invested in the story, it was fine.
Yeah. Oh, and then there's Mandy. That's definitely...
I don't think I'd constitute as horror.
Well, I might disagree with you.
Okay.
That's
fine.
Remember Apostle, a semi-decent
that's pretty
horror
good.
movie on Netflix?
Yeah.
Netflix originals usually are a big flop. But that was surprisingly decent. Man, there's a lot of bad stuff. Oh, here, I want to talk about some other points. There's one more point or two here. I feel like a lot of the time you have, in terms of like visuals from a lot of these types of movies, if you remember, especially in a lot of like James Wan type movies, you have the obnoxious use of smoke screens, or not smoke screens, but smoke machines. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, what? Why do you have a smoke machine just for every...
This doesn't bother me.
set? It doesn't bother you? Are you kidding?
No.
It doesn't even make any sense. You're in someone's home. Also, just the design for a lot of the places they go to. A lot of time they're in people's homes. Like, people live here. People don't live... When you don't design a house, like, just design a normal house. And I feel like that'd be creepier. To have a normal house with a lot of really creepy stuff going on.
Doesn't bother me that much. I mean,
especially for the nun. The nun deserves to be shamed for a lot of things. That was a little bit
laughable, but
that was a lot of. Remember all the smoke in the basement of.
Well, that movie's just horrible. So.
Well, sure, but I'm just saying that's probably the best example of an obnoxious use of visuals to the point where I'm just like, what am I watching? And I remember, let's see what else. There was we talked about, I remember there was one time where we talked about keeping music or not having music. A lot of time you have like a lot of those obnoxious heart-pounding music in certain sequences. Like, remember in Hereditary we had that really unique song that sort of like pieces the whole movie together?
Yeah.
Because it references certain pieces. That was great. Man, I love talking about horror movies. Horror movies are just... most of them are awful, which is true. Some are okay. A few of them are good. And like one or two are great.
When you find a really good one, though, it's a magical experience.
Yeah, it's worth your time.
So last but not least, we can talk about this weekend.
Oh, yeah, let's see what we got.
Which I'm very excited for. For one reason.
Oh, yeah, Joker. I almost forgot, too. What's wrong with me?
Yeah, we already have our ticket. You bought them, right?
Yeah, I texted you. I was like, I got mine.
Yeah, we got our tickets for Thursday.
Yep.
Ooh, I'm so excited. So excited.
Just don't think about it too much.
I'll think about it as much as I want to think about it.
Here's the thing. I don't know what the movie's... I know it's about, sort of, but I don't want to know more about it. But here's the thing.
I don't know anything about it.
Okay, wait. So I know you know about Matt Reeves?
No.
That guy? He's directing his own Batman movie with...
And yes, I do know.
It's just called The Batman, and that's the one that's going to be with Robert Pattinson.
Yes.
And
what about
I'm interested in this because it's going to be a little bit more of the comic booky feel and sort of a little bit dark detective type feel of some of the other movies, and I hope that this Joker, hopefully, I want him to continue. Even though I haven't even... You know what am I talking about? I need to see the movie.
What do you mean? I don't know what you're saying.
Because the movie,
you want
the director...
Joaquin Phoenix back?
Yes. But I shouldn't even say that now because I haven't even seen
we have no idea what's going to happen.
But I'm just saying, like, the Joaquin Phoenix and the director, Todd Phillips, say that this is... I think Joaquin Phoenix is the only one who said that, is that it's a one-done project. Like, he just wanted to tell this story.
Well,
but if he's great, I would love to see him return. You know what I mean? Like, I think it'd be awesome to see if he was good. If he's good,
this is like the masterpiece that people are talking.
I know
about it. I don't want him to come back.
But what if
that would be like? Imagine, I doubt that this would happen. But imagine if Heath Ledger had returned, and like
he was probably going to in Dark Knight,
and then
Dark Knight Rises.
Just imagine like it wasn't that great. That would be so disappointing.
Imagine a movie where you have Bane and the Joker working together. In a way.
But I'm saying, like, if it's as good as people are saying it is, and it's as good as I think it's going to be, I don't know if I want another one.
Here's the thing. What if you enjoy characters so much, wouldn't you want to see him, in a way, face off against his arch enemy, which is Batman, but the Joker's arch enemy being Batman, and Batman's arch enemy being the Joker? Yeah, how they're opposite ends of each other.
From the trailers that I've seen, I think that this is going to be, like, it's hard for me to imagine.
It is in Gotham, obviously.
Yeah, I know, but it's hard for me to imagine this Joker in a Batman movie, if that makes sense.
Why?
Because this just seems like a very much more grounded...
Okay. Yeah.
I mean,
there's even a chance, too, that maybe...
If they're going to do it, I'm up
There's even a chance, too, if this movie does take place in the grand... Because I know DC is having a lot of trouble with their movies and stuff, back and forth, stuff getting canceled or them not even having a true vision. But the only stuff I am looking forward to is this Batman movie with Robert Pattinson. I'm very excited for that. And then this. But what I'm thinking is that sometimes there's some stories with like the Joker where you have someone who influences the real Joker later on. So perhaps because we see Bruce Wayne in this movie, the little boy when he's putting the smile on his face at the gates.
I don't think we know that that's him for sure.
I'm pretty sure that's Bruce Wayne. And because Thomas Wayne's in the movie too. He's the mayor at the time. Like his father, Bruce Wayne's father.
Okay.
Anyways, but what I'm saying is, Drake, is that this movie itself, I know you're not a big comic book movie person, but it's possible that this movie itself sets up it's like an influence for the Joker of the Batman movie, possibly, if this movie is connected to that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he somehow influences
We're running out of time. I want to say two more things.
Towards the end here.
When we see the Joker, I don't want you to worry too much about how this can connect to Batman. I want you to just take this as its own story.
If it's good, if it's great, of course I will.
Just take it as...
What are you telling me this for? This is dumb.
Oh my God, it's going to annoy me if you're like, oh, well... The Batman would never...
I don't care about that. That's not my true...
All I'm saying is
that's not my true thing. I'm saying...
it for its own thing.
Why are you telling me this? Of course I know this.
You just tried to connect it to future Batman movies.
I'm saying if it's great, I think I would be interested to see him return in a Batman movie.
You should not try to connect this to future Batman movies.
You can't help but do it because it's a villain within a comic book city
its own thing
where he's the arch enemy of a big comic book hero.
He's coming back.
Oh my God.
All I'm saying is I don't want that to negatively skew your...
Of course it won't.
And last thing, did you see that Jonah Hill was cast in the Batman movie?
Batman movie.
They think he's either probably going to be
Penguin
the Riddler or
someone
Penguin.
Else. I don't know.
Okay, so we got Joker this weekend, Lucy in the Sky, which is getting awful reviews. Really bad reviews.
I have no interest.
A documentary about Alien and how it connects to Greek and Egyptian mythology. And that's about it.
Yeah, nothing else worth mentioning. Well, guys, I want to thank everybody for tuning in.
Thank you. We'll be back next week at this time. We'll give you a little rundown about how Joker was. And, you'll be on your way. So thank you for listening to the Watchmen Radio Hour. You are listening to